Hey loves, happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's doing well. Today's Talk With Tuesday, and I wanted to speak on habits today. So I'm going to be doing the top habits that are damaging to your brain. Most people honestly have a lot of habits that they do on a day-to-day that they do not realize are actually really harmful to your brain and cause a decline in your cognition and your memory. So we're going to be going over that today. If you're interested in knowing what those habits are, come and join me. I'm also going to be giving some tips. So let's get into it. So number one habit that damages your brain is focusing too much on negativity. Now this one is bad for you overall, especially mental health wise. It's really bad to dwell. It's bad to focus so much on things that are negative, and this also leads to a cognitive decline as well as memory loss. Now, it is found that people that do tend to dwell on a lot of negativity were also found to have more amyloid deposits within their brain, which is linked to Alzheimer's as well. So a lot of these habits that I'm going to be speaking on in this video do lead to things like memory loss later down the line. So this is why I'm making this video. We want to make sure that we are getting these habits in check and in order now so that we can have a healthy brain. So if you are the type to dwell a little too much on negativity, or you just feel like you are an overthinker and you tend to dwell on things of the past, some tips that's really helped me, because I tend to overthink as well. I like to meditate. Meditation is really good for you. It has so many benefits. And not only that, but it brings you to the present moment. It helps you to be more at peace and at ease. And this really helps you to release things of the past, things that may be burdening you, that may be affecting you mentally. And that's my number one tip, meditation. It helps. It's such a game changer, and I highly recommend that if you tend to dwell too much on negativity in your life. So that's tip number one. For me, I also like to journal. So if journaling helps you, I like to write personally, but this helps me because all of those negative thoughts that I have in my brain, I can get it out onto paper, and then it helps me to just have a clear mind. I like to do it in the morning as a part of my morning routine. I also like to do it before bed as well, and just throughout the day at times. But yeah, those are my number two tips, and that is the first way that you are damaging your brain. So let's get into number two. Okay, so habit number two that's extremely harmful to your brain is not getting enough rest. And this one, I feel like a lot of people tend to do. Most people fall into this, honestly. And yes, your body can still perform off of not having enough sleep, but the effects that it has on your body and your brain over time are very harmful. When you do not get enough sleep and you're sleep deprived, your body gets dehydrated, you cannot focus, you have a lack of concentration, it leads to depression and just overall a mental fog. So it is very important that you make sure that you're getting all of the rest that your body needs, whether you have to finish some things earlier in the day so that you don't have to stay up late, or whether it's just limiting your screen time before bed, because I know that's the number one thing that causes most people to stay up is our phones, screen time, whether you're just watching things on your phone or just texting, whatever the case. Me personally, this is something that was a big problem for me because I used to find it very hard for me to fall asleep at night. Nowadays, what I do to help myself fall asleep a lot faster is I'll listen to affirmations or just different things like rain sounds. I'll play a video and then I'll fall asleep to it. That's what I do with my affirmation videos. So yeah, but just make sure that you're setting a schedule, or that you're just making time to allow yourself to have the amount of rest that your body really needs. As for the third habit that is damaging to your brain is spending too much time alone. So I know for my introverts and my antisocial people, this one's going to be a little bit difficult. There's nothing wrong with spending time alone, but when you are alone to yourself most of your time, it is very damaging to your brain because of the fact that your brain needs some sort of stimulation, social interaction. So it is good to go out, to mingle, and to not spend too much time indoors and alone. The fourth thing that is very harmful to your brain is too much screen time. Now with this one, it's pretty obvious. It's really bad to stare at screens for a long period of time for your eyes as well. So when you have an excessive amount of screen time, this overloads the brain's sensory system, and it also depletes mental reserves. It also delays melatonin release in your body by like several hours. So another thing too about having too much screen time, or just too much time on social media in general, is that it releases a false sense of dopamine. So what dopamine is basically like the feel-good hormone and chemical within your brain. And when you are on social media and you're watching things that are funny, or you're just giving yourself that entertainment, that satisfaction, that pleasure, or when you see that you're getting likes and all these other things, it releases that dopamine, but in an unhealthy way. So you have to be very careful, because this is why so many people get addicted to social media, because it gives you that feeling of pleasure and happiness. So just make sure that with everything that you're having a healthy balance. So the fifth thing that is damaging to your brain is not getting enough exercise. When you exercise, it oxygenates your brain and it also helps to produce growth hormones, and it's also just really good overall for your mental health. So make sure that you're taking time to get your body moving and that you're not staying too stagnant. And the last thing that I want to mention that is bad for your brain is having too many or too much sugary drinks, alcohol, all of that. So you have to be careful with having too many sugary drinks or alcohol, because it leads to poor episodic memory and it lowers your total brain volume. But that is pretty much it. I just wanted to go over these quick things because these are the most common things that I notice most people do, and it is very harmful. If you want to do some extended research, I highly recommend. And yeah, that's just my tips. I noticed that once I switched these things up a little bit, it was a lot better for me mentally. I was more focused, more clear. I had less brain fog, and just overall a lot more peace. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody that you feel it may benefit, and I will see you guys in my next video. Subscribe if you're not already, and peace out.
Look at the streets, you are not my mate. If you become a chef, not be head of state. But my people then go say I don't want buy, I don't want that.